Hello everyone, welcome back to my series on 1973 films. I was born in 1973. My birthday is actually tomorrow, April 4th, and I have decided to take, over the course of this year, to see a selection of films that came out 40 years ago this year, just to see kind of what they were like, what were they like back then. I've been taking requests. And one guy who goes by 99 Filmo here on YouTube, he sent me requests for like 10 different films, so I'm going to get to each of them, interspersing them with other people's requests. But one of them he was particularly keen on was a French film called La Grande Bouffe, which I saw last week. The director is Marco Ferreri, and it stars a few actors who are actually going by their real first names. The only one in the cast that I recognize is Marcello Mastroianni. I recognize him from the Robert Altman film Ready to Wear, and I'm sure I've seen at least one other movie, but that's what I know him from in particular. He plays a guy named Marcello, or Marcello actually is how they pronounce it. Some of the other actors in this movie include Michel Piccoli and Ugo Tognazzi and Philippe, or maybe it's just Philippe, Noiret, and the most prominent female character is Andrea Ferreol. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, or her name, Ferreol. When I saw this film, it kind of reminded me of a movie that came out just a couple of years ago called I Melt With You. It's directed by Mark Pellington, stars Thomas Jane, Jeremy Piven, a couple other guys. They go away for the weekend to this house out in the middle of kind of nowhere, and they do lots of drinking and drug taking, and they are just partying it up. And then one of them hangs himself in the bathroom, and they're all shocked by this. But then, of course, they realize, oh, wait a second, we said that we were all going to kill ourselves. Years ago, when we were in college, we made this pact to all kill ourselves for some reason. I think they agreed that if they didn't achieve something in particular, or they didn't meet some particular objective that they all had, or they just didn't want to get old and cruddy. They just wanted to die relatively young. So there's some arguing about whether or not the rest of them are going to go through with it. One of them is already dead, and whether or not the rest of them is, and then they have to hide the body, and they have to avoid questions from the cops, etc. And this is actually sort of a similar story, except that these four men, Marcello, Michel, Ugo, and Philippe, are going to this house that I think it's Philippe that owns it. Philippe is a judge, Ugo is a chef, Michel is a TV producer, and Marcello is a pilot. They're longtime friends, and they've gathered at this house that Michel owns, out away from where they normally work and live, to have a huge banquet. La Grande Bouffe basically means the great feast, the grand feast. And they're going to eat and eat and eat until they die. They're going to stuff themselves with as much food as they can until they just can't take any more and they just keel over dead. Now, why they're doing this exactly, I didn't get that. I don't know why exactly. It's French, you know, maybe they just, it's some sort of existential thing. I'm really not sure, but I don't recall them saying exactly why it is they're doing this. And in fact, they didn't even get around to mentioning the fact that they were trying to kill themselves by eating too much until over halfway through the picture. At least I might have missed some dialogue early on. But the opening few scenes have them, each of them, doing some last-minute things before they take off. The TV producer, Michel, he meets with his daughter after he wraps things up at work, and then he takes off. Ugo, the chef, he has an argument with his wife about going away, and she's like, why are you taking all this stuff? Why are you taking an entire, briefcase full of knives? What's going on with that? Well, he's going to be preparing the food. He needs all the knives, but it's a little suspicious. And Philippe, he's got kind of a creepy thing going on with his nanny, a woman who has taken care of him ever since he was a small boy, and still takes care of him, even though he's a man of at least 50 years old, and actually attends to his sexual needs as well. That's pretty gross. So the four of them, they all get together at Philippe's house, and Ugo is preparing the food, and the other guys help out, but basically they're just making one huge, enormous meal after another and stuffing themselves until they can't eat anymore, and then they do it again, you know, at the next mealtime. It's really, really, really disgusting. What else can I say about these guys? Marcello Mastroianni plays a kind of a womanizer who's always interested in meeting more women, and he actually finds 3 prostitutes in the neighboring center of town and brings them back. And there's also a school teacher. A school teacher brings some of her young children, her students, to the house to take a look at a particular tree, and they ending up inviting her to come back when she's done with her duties to join in the feast, which she does. She shows up eventually and begins to party and gorge herself along with the rest of them. Yeah, so each of them, you know, they have, I don't know, their personal issues. There's some dialogue, but mostly it's all just them just stuffing themselves to a rather disgusting degree. And I found this rather unpleasant, a rather unpleasant movie. I really, I doubt I would have been interested in seeing this movie had I just heard it described to me. It wasn't doing movies all from this year. But I am, you know, taking recommendations and suggestions from anyone who wants to give one. So if you've got a particular 1973 film that you'd like me to do a video on, leave me a comment and let me know if you'd like me to that you'd like me to check it out. Of course, it's possible I've already done it. I've already done, I don't know, 9 or 10 videos. So if you look in the link below, there's the description below. There's a playlist, a link to a playlist which has all the videos I've done so far, so you can take a look at that. Yes, yeah, I was. Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my thoughts on this particular film. Kind of interesting, but mostly just really, really, really gross. There's a lot of... Oh, and the school teacher ends up having sex with at least 3 different men. Yeah, it's all just like, why? Why is it happening? I don't know. Really don't know what the deal is. But she kind of goes along with it. It's crazy. Just kind of crazy. So, thanks very much for watching, and I'll have more up probably right now. I'm doing like 3 of them today, so there's a few to choose from. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.